1, 2, 3. We are not live. We are not live, but we are. Hello, lovely Gary. Hello, lovely YouTuber. Nice to have your company for another tea time tutorial. Please do like and subscribe if you can. It helps us to spread the joy, spread the word, get it out there. So it's a thumbs up, bing, bing, bing. And then if you subscribe and if you hit the little bell, you'll be notified every time we load content. And it's not just the tea time tutorials, because occasionally we load other bits of content as well. And I know because it comes up on my phone, I'll go, oh, I've posted today. So if you do hit that bell, it would really help us. And of course, comments, greatly appreciated. And apparently, as I say, if you comment, like, hit subscribe, do any of those things, it just helps us go in the algorithm. And then you're helping other people because they'll know about the channel. In these tea time tutorials, we give you a lovely little something to do, which just eases the mind, gives you 25 minutes away from the daily grind of life. But we also do a bit of mindfulness at the beginning, where we just talk about something that's happened to us this week, but try and put a spin on it. Let's look at the positive things in life. Let's look at lessons. Let's look at what we can learn. And you never know, there might be a pearl of wisdom that you take on board, lovely YouTuber, and think, I'm going to remember that next time. Or there might not be, but life is about listening and learning. I always put the time codes below. I'm Rachel, this is Gary, and the company is Crafty Monkies. And if you want to have a look on the channel, there are so many other videos, sewing tutorials, chats, loads of information, free classes, and there's also our tea time tutorials, which we do every single Friday. So have a good rummage around. If you want to have a look at the website, the link is below, and you can go to our website and take classes, proper live Zoom classes with the lovely Gary. Somebody last week, Gary, was asking when your art classes are starting. They're in the autumn on a Wednesday night. And so we really are a one-stop shop for you. Also, as well, I'll put the time codes below. So if you want to skip all this stuff, you can go straight to the arty exercise. Gary, are we ready? Yes.
We're ready.
If you're going to the arty exercise, see you in a moment. But if you're sticking around, let's do some mindfulness. I read a really interesting thing this week that said, if you are a person who is reading tarot cards, watching videos about self-help, looking at books, reading books, doing all this a lot, are you actually sitting with your emotions, or are you still searching for those answers, but actually you won't find those answers until you stop and feel what's actually going on? And you know, I thought that was such a good point, Gary, because I know we talk about on this channel, you know, learning lessons and blah, 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 blah. But actually sometimes I think that you can almost overlearn. And what's ironic is that our art exercises are mindfulness based. So they are about just stopping and calming the mind. And I thought that was really interesting how I saw that quote, which is that you should stop and just be in it and not always searching for answers. And I tend to think that the universe brings those answers to you when you stop and sit in the emotions. So don't pressurize yourself to go out and find the answers. Let it come to you and sit in those emotions. What saith youeth, Mr. Gary?
Oh, that has definitely made me think, because you know, how many times do I witness people, and I think I've been guilty of myself, like you want an answer to something, so you might do the tarots, but not really. I don't like that answer. I don't like what's coming through. I might do something else. I'll go to a spiritual medium, or I'll go to a clairvoyant, or I'll do the runes or something like that, until whatever comes through is what I agree with. Now that's completely the wrong way to go about it, because in fact you're trying to find the answer that you like, whereas actually the thing that is probably what you need to find the answer is something perhaps you putting off. Maybe, you know.
And Gary, just in case people are thinking, oh, I don't do tarot and spirituality. Okay, so how many friends do you go to? Because we do that with friends. We'll ask this friend this opinion. I'm not quite sure about that. I'll go to this friend and this friend, and then when you like that answer, you go, yes, but actually it's probably not the right answer. But we're always searching, aren't we?
Absolutely. And you might have that friend, I've experienced this. A friend comes to you and asks you about a certain scenario. You say, right, this is the answer. This is
Yeah.
what I think is
Yeah.
happening. I definitely think there was a point in that, in what you've said, definitely, with the way people search and keep doing things to try and find the answer, where really you only have to sit quietly for a while, clear your mind, and just see what the answer comes through. And as I said earlier, it might not be the answer that you want to, but maybe it's that nagging thing that you need to, that challenge that you need to get on with, that you're putting off.
And we always know, Gary. I think that our intuition, if you sit and listen, your intuition, your higher self knows. It knows the truth. And you're led to that truth. It's just that sometimes we don't want to see it and we don't want to hear it. So that's why we often keep going and trying to find answers. And that's where meditation comes in, because I think if you just meditate, if you just sit for 15 minutes with your thoughts, I think your higher self knows, your soul knows what's good for you and where you need to go, and you have to listen to it.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
I heard a great thing today: always taste the Kool-Aid before someone tries to sell you it, because it looks pretty, but is it good for you? Taste the Kool-Aid before you buy it. So yeah, that's what you got to do. Taste the Kool-Aid, sit and think about it. There you go.
Wow.
Yes. Now we're going to sit and do some lovely doodling. So hello, lovely YouTube, if you've skipped and you've come straight to the arty bit. Now, we must give a huge credit to a wonderful Instagram account and a wonderful lady.
I've got it written down here, UYNTRN_.
There you go. Well, that's the account handle.
On Instagram.
And then I think underneath it says Uyen or Uyen. Have a look at her, because she does, I'm not sure if it's daily, but it's very regular mindful exercises. And they are wonderful. And so I saw this on Instagram. It popped up in the old, we thought you'd be interested in this. I sent it to Gary and I said, you know what, should we have a go at this ourselves? Because this is what she wants to do. She wants people to have a go at her exercises. So we thought we'd have a go at her exercise, show it to you, lovely YouTuber, and spread the joy. And this is a very joyful exercise. Gary, do you want to take us through it?
Okay, right. So as we've just explained, this is completely new to both of us, new to me and new to Rachel. But I sort of had a look, and this is what I want to do. So first of all, you're going to start off with a blank piece of paper. It doesn't matter what type of paper really it is. So I've got a piece of just a sort of a A4 piece of cartridge paper, but it could be copy paper. It's fine. I've got some pens because we're going to do a bit of mark making, and we're going to write some words as well. I'm going to color in because I like color. In fact, I'm going to use a new palette. I've got this new palette of paints today, so I'm just going to try them out. They're supposed to be quite intense colors, and I know there's always a conversation with a lot of the doodling that we do. Is like Rachel says, I've got paint envy. How do you have such bright colors? So I'm trying out this one, and if we like the colors, I'll give you the name of that one so you can use that. Rachel, you're going to use felt tips, but you could use pencils, whatever you've got to hand, really. So I've got some jam jars. I've got my cup of tea in the way. Let's just move that over there. I've got some jam jars for my paint brushes. And as always, I like a couple of jam jars of water, one to keep it clean and one for my dirty water, some paint brushes. To begin, the title of this doodle is Things I Love and Enjoy. So I think we can just put that at the top. So I'm just going to write that in. I'm going to just write Things I Love and Enjoy. Yeah, so Things I Love and Enjoy. So that's the title of this doodle. So it starts to make you think. Now, what you need is just to take a pen, any pen. It could be a biro, it could be just an ordinary black like marker pen like this one. And you're just going to draw a series of loopy squiggles around the page, just loopy squiggles. So each squiggle has got like a little zone, a bit like what we did last week. We've got zones. Imagine these zones. Now, each of these zones are things that you love and enjoy. So like that's going to make you start thinking. Now I knew we were going to do this, so I've written down a few things. At this stage you might just want to go straight in and just start working with all those things that you love and enjoy, but I've written a tiny little list. But not only are you going to write down a list, could be 10 things, start with 10 things, could be 5 things, 10 things, up to you, but you're also going to think of a color that relates to that thing that you love and enjoy. So the first thing I thought of today, because it's a really nice bright day, I thought of my garden. So I'm just thinking, I really love and enjoy my garden. I get a lot from it. So just choose any one of these zones that is then going to become the garden. So you can just put a little arrow and you can just write garden like that. So you just write garden. That's one of the things. And then think of the color that you associate. So it could be with felt tip, and just think of a color. I'm going to be really obvious here, and I'm just going, oh, these are nice bright colors. I'm just going in with a really bright green. So at the moment, my garden is really, it's just come to always, we're nearly at summer, we're just at the end of the spring. And so there's lots of lush growth growing in the garden. So that sort of thinking. So not only can you have a color, but also you can think of pattern. So another thing that I love and enjoy is, and I'm going to use this little spot here, is, no, actually, I'm going to use a tiny one. I'm going to use a tiny one, not that it's any less or any more, but because it relates to a very tiny little thing in my life that I really love and enjoy. And that is my small little dog. And her name is called Freckle. So for that little tiny little square there, my tiny little dog, and she is a black and white dog, but because her name is called Freckle, I'm not going to fill in with one color. I'm just going to do a series of little dots, because that is what she's full of, freckles all over. Little black dots on a white little coat. My little poacher's pocket, Jack Russell. There she is. Okay, Rachel, have you started? Let's have a look at you.
Of course I've started. Okay, right, let me bring mine into view, add a spotlight. Now, I decided to do this in my diary, which starts in, I think it says 23, but I think it's, is it June 23? No, July, no, July the 1st. And I thought, great, that's my new journal, my new diary that I'll be looking at for work. So I'm going to use felt tip pens. So I thought in the opening page, look, literally here.
Perfect.
That's what, yes. So every time I open it, I'll see this. So exactly the same. I think on her doodle, as I remember, she actually made it into a heart shape, which was lovely. And I did attempt that, but then it sort of went off piece, but it doesn't matter. As you say, it's about getting those circles. So yeah, so I've started it. So I've done here, I love the sun. So obviously, yellow. And then right in the middle, and it's really interesting, you know, once again, I just sat with it. I didn't think, right, which bit am I going to colour in? I just went for that one. And then I just thought red, and I was going to put family, but then I said love. And to me, that's like the heartbeat of everything. That's what I love and enjoy. Wow. I love and enjoy love. And of course, love can be, like you've said, you love your dog, you love your garden, not just romantic love, love of friendships. So I started with that. But then I've just done this orange down here, and I'm going to write family here. I love my family. And the reason I've done orange is because orange is one of my favorite colors, but I think orange is so vibrant. But then it reminds me, orange is like a beautiful sunset, a sunrise, you know, the colors that you get in the sky. And of course, that's what family is. It's evolutional, it's daily, you know, that your family is always there day by day. So yeah, that's where I am so far.
Yes, but that's good, because I've done summer as well, and my color that I thought for summer was going to be, that's definitely orange. So I think definitely as the sun warms up and things like that, that's orangey color for me, for my summer color. You've done family. Now it's funny, you've done, what did you color? You did thinking orange. Of love, that was the red one. Did you do family? Is orange, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for my family, so I'm going to do one. So I better do, because it's quite big and lots of people, and I'm going to do a big one in the middle. So family. I thought family for me is a pink, so very pinky color. So I'm just going to see if I can pick up a light little wash of pink and just put like a nice little wash. It's slightly red, but it's going to be a little, it's going to be pink. Pink, all loving and hugging and nice and cozy and just lovely. So that's what I put there. But for I did also, the other one that I've got is so you've got family, but then you've got friends. And like you say, you can choose your family, but you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. So I would have chosen my family. They are lovely. But my friends, so friends, I'm going to bring up here, but they're not pink. When I thought the color of them, I thought purple, a little bit edgy, not quite red, not quite blue. They are purple. So I'm going to find a nice little purple color if I can find in this palette. This palette is, I like this, nice bright colors. If I might have to mix a bit of blue and I've got to make my color. Ah, look at that. Right, purple. Here we go. In you go. I do quite like using paints because it's very instant. And I'm not getting too hooked up with having to follow all the lines at all. So there's a nice purple. Nice purple in there. That's okay. Where else have I got to? Other things I thought of. We might think about summer, but what about going to the beach? That's another thing.
I'm just about to do the beach.
No, okay, right. Don't talk, don't look. Let's focus on our interpretation of beach. Remember, you can do pattern as well, Rachel.
Listen, I'm already on it.
Are you? Right, okay.
Already on it.
Already on it, right, hang on. I'm just getting my colours together.
You see, once again, isn't this just a lovely, and props to the lady who came up with this, because if you look at her account, she does quite simple things, which is wonderful because everybody can do them. That's the idea of mindful doodling.
Yes.
You don't need to be an artist. You don't need a huge expanse of even paints. Have you got any felt tip pens? It's brilliant. But what's lovely about this is on the surface, you can go, it's just squiggly lines and colouring in. Yeah. But what you're doing is you're thinking about the things that you love. And when you have gratitude for things in your life, good and bad, I believe that more comes to you, but I think it's also a really important practice every day to be thankful for what you have, which is why I've done this at the beginning of my journal.
And I think I've previously spoken about a gratitude journal.
Yes.
So and you can get out the habit of it. Times you can do it and you'd be really sort of like doing it every day and it's great. Then you can get out the habit. Maybe it's because you sort of like the way that you approach it is you've become sort of like stale or it's become a bit boring. And I do like to sort of change things around. Well, this is exactly the same as my gratitude journal where I used to put 10 things that I was really glad for or really grateful for that day. And I did say that you're also allowed to make things up. So even if you've not got the camper van yet, you can still put camper van on there because that will be coming. So, yes. So this is exactly, but it's less writing. It's more about color. It's more, and in fact, you're spending more time on a much thoughtful process because it's not just methodically going for a list of words that you can repeat every day. That's fine. This is actually really breaking it down and just spending a little bit more time on actually doing it, so I really like that. What was the one I had? Oh, food. I love food. I think as you get to a certain age, what is your priority? What do me and my partner always discuss when we've got spare time, any spare time on the calendar or we're on holiday? When are we having that next meal? That seems to be the whole priority of our life. So food, what kind of food? So I suppose if I just put, as I really love and enjoy food, and then also enjoy cooking food and making food and feeding people and things like that. I love all of it, everything associated with it. So I'm going to do sort of like, I suppose sort of like, imagine this, just come out the oven, just baked it. So a nice sort of baked colour, sort of a nice sort of brown colour as it's all nice and crisp and baked, be it that bread, cakes, savoury things, anything like that. So a nice sort of cake biscuit colour like that. I quite like that. Then, now, where are we up to? Where have I got to? I don't know. I've nearly gone through a bit. I've got friends. I've got two last things on my list. How are you doing? What's that one with the stripes you're just doing there, Rachel? What's that one going to be?
You know what?
Wow.
Well, hang on. Let me just... Hang on a second. Let me just finish this off. Because I've written in a few things which, could be a bit surprising. But I'm just going to... I don't even know why I did stripes for this. And I still don't know why I've done it, but it doesn't matter. I think I was thinking of variation.
I like the stripes.
I am loving this exercise. This is one of my favorites, and it's so simple,
Yes.
but it's really good fun.
I think it's really pulling together this mindful approach that we've been discussing about being mindful, but also the doodling, and it's really starting to.
Yeah,
I think this little doodle really brings it all together.
it does. Right. Okay.
Right. So
Oh, my battery's going to go low. Can I plug myself in without
disturbing it.
Brilliant. I just pop that in there. Good. Right, so let me show you what I've done then so far. So got the sun. I did woods, so I've done little, because it's like little trees from overhead. So it's
Yeah, you like the woods, yeah?
yeah. So green and browns there for the woods. Obviously, I did my family in orange. I've got the love there. Now this one, I know this might seem obvious, but what are those ticks? And I thought of time. I love time. Tick,
Oh,
tick,
do you?
tick, 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 tick.
The sound of time.
Yeah. So
You
what I
like the
meant,
sound of time.
well, it's the sound of time, but I think also the fact that we're on this planet and alive, Gary. Because as
Oh,
you
absolutely.
suffered a loss last year, you realise how short life is. I love being given this time on this planet.
Yeah.
And you know what? There are hard times, there are devastating times, there are painful times, but there are wonderful times. That's life. So I love time. And I just thought, what does time represent to me? Ticking. It's ticking of a clock, but it's tick, tick, tick. It's rhythmic. It's life.
Yeah.
Now, this one, now look at this. Now, I chose a little area because we don't want too much of this, but I wrote that as the shadows. Now, I'm grateful for this, right? This is part of the searching thing we're talking about, but as we said, don't do too much of it. Yes, search yourself, search your shadow side. We all have a shadow side. If people think, what's a shadow side? Go and research it. But a shadow side is your dark side. It's the things that perhaps we don't show to other people, but it's you know, it's as we were saying about addictive behaviors, people who are, you know, fully in their addictive behaviors are fully living in their shadow side, that it's the darkness, it's the pain. But this is really important to look at. So I love these areas, because these areas, when you look at them and work on them, are what make you grow.
Exactly.
So to me, you have to embrace and love the shadows. And you could also say, it's not just your shadow side, but it is the darkness in life. It's the sad times in life. You have to look at the shadows. And you know what, as well, looking at it from a literal point of view, that if you if you've ever experienced, you know, a lovely sunny day, you walk into the shadow, it's a little bit cooler, but when you come back out of that shadow into the sunshine, boy, do you love that heat. It's warm, and it feels warmer than it did before. So actually, shadows are wonderful things. They give you a break, they give you time to reflect, they cool you down, they make you think, and then they make you appreciate the warmth and the sun even more. So there you go.
Wow,
that's my beach. I know it's very beautiful, but that's my beach. Waves and the sand. I know it's very.
I love it. So that was your beach, and my beach was here. I looked at was sun umbrellas and beach towels. So mine's are all stripy. So a bit like your other one, which is stripy. I did stripes over here for my beach.
Well, do you know something? I didn't even look at your stripes. I wasn't looking at your work at all.
No.
I started these stripes. Now, I was going to do food because I was thinking of all the different colours of food. But when I looked at it, it reminded me of a fire. And I love a log fire. I love it. And when you look at a fire, you see all these colours in a fire. So that's a nice thing I like, a log fire.
So I just a couple more things that I think of that maybe out there, and you're probably not thinking, oh, I should have put that in. Think about those things that people say that are adorable about you and love them. So if you've got talent, so you might be able to play a piano, you might be able to be creative, you might just be really good at talking with people. But everyone, and someone will tell you, oh, you're really good at this. That's what needs to be on there. And you need to embrace it and love it. So I'm going to put, you know, my creativity here. You know, I'm fortunate enough to always have this creative mind and come up with these ideas. So I'm going to put that on for me, because I'm going to say that I'm going to acknowledge it and I'm going to really like it. So I've just done my usual splatting in there. I really like splatting. And then the other thing, the last thing, the 10th thing, and I got down my list, I go from 9 and then 10. And I thought, hang on a minute, everyone, and they'd say this, you've got to love yourself before anyone else will love you. So make sure that you put yourself, me. And for that, I'm going to put, so you've used red, and I think I'm definitely red. I just feel I'm a red. That's the color that represents me today. Might not be all the time, but today I feel that I'm red. So I'm going to be here. Really, I should put myself dead center in the middle, but that's fine. So that what's you done? You've done like a whirlwind in the middle there, Rachel. What's that?
Creativity.
Oh, you've got your creative, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of that.
I know what I'm going to do now.
What's that? I love it. It's got a lot of energy in this drawing, this doodle.
Yeah. And do you know what that is?
What is that?
Me.
Me.
Because as you just
yeah.
said, you have to love the things that people love about yourself, and you have to love yourself. And that's not being egotistical, but
No.
the reason I've done that loop is because I experience all these things, and all these things are linked together, and they're all a part of me. So yes, these things I love and enjoy are all these things, and me. And believe me, there are many times I don't like me. There are many times I sit there and go, oh, and I think about things I've said and done and experiences. But actually, you have to love those parts of you as well, because I'm always learning.
Exactly. No, that's really good. And now, and yesterday when I said, I said, I really like this idea of this doodling, and I pointed out one thing. So all of you out there, what you've got to realize is there are gaps here which you haven't put anything in yet, but they are the things to come that you're going to love and enjoy, and they're there on the horizon, ready to just for you to explore and find. They've not come here yet, they're on their way. So that's, I love this. I love it.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And I've just put a little heartbeat in there. Look, there's a heart beating, because that's life.
Oh, I think that's really sweet.
Yeah. What a lovely, lovely exercise that is. Let's come back to the gallery.
Let's.
Lovely. I love those. And I like yours as well. You know, once again, you've got the mixtures of the colours. I like your arrows, and your writing is just we like the.
And I used the paints that I was using. Well, and I've said this before. It's a set by Koh-i-Noor. So believe me, I'm not getting any royalties or payment for this. But I thought I'd try them out. And it's Koh-i-Noor. So it's Kohi-I-Noor, Noor, Koh-i-Noor. And it's called Brilliant Dye-Based Watercolors, and they're good for sketchbooking and design work. And they for that little pack, that was £5. And in fact, I know on my work, probably can't see, but the density of the colors was really quite strong. Yeah. So I know people are always saying, oh, what paints are you using? What's out there? So I've just tested that out. I bought them online the other day, and I like them. And I think I'll be able to use them quite a lot in my sketchbooking and my work. So my journaling. So and
I like the little tray as well. It's nice and compact, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Bing! Time is up. Got to stop speaking, Gary. So yes, so lovely exercise. So thank you so much to the lady who came up with it, Uyen, I think it's called. Details below. And thank you to Gary, of course, for spending time with me today and doing that exercise. And we would love to see your exercises. So please tag us in on Instagram. Once again, our handles are below, at Gary Mills Designs, at Crafty Monkeys, and we will share your work onto our feeds as well. So let's spread that joy and positivity. But of course, there will be another tea time tutorial next Friday. So we hope to see you then. Of course, if you're watching this out of sync, you'll go, well, what's next Friday? Doesn't matter. There's over 40 videos to choose from. So go into the tea time tutorial box, click on one, and do a bit of mindfulness today. There's some examples there. Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.